Alright guys, it's Nate
and Tams,
and tonight we are doing venison loaded nachos. You gotta check this out, you gotta try to make it yourself. What do you think? How was it?
So good.
So good. Alright, we'll see you guys in a minute in the kitchen. Alright, so tonight we are going to make venison loaded nachos. So the first thing we're going to do is pull some lettuce out. We got a bunch we need to eat up because it's coming towards the end of the season. And some cilantro. And we'll do some onions too, I guess. Get them a picture of that beautiful stuff out of the garden. All right, so Tams bought us one of these fancy salad spinners the other day in hopes to eat more lettuce out of our garden. So anyway, I'm just gonna wash it off a couple times and drain the water out of there, and then I'm gonna go ahead and spin it. This thing actually works pretty well. Just let it spin a couple times, and it slings all the water out of it. All right, so now we're gonna slice up the lettuce and the onions. All right, so we have some cilantro and some romaine lettuce out of our garden, as well as some onions that we've been growing. Tomatoes are not out of our garden because it's the wrong time of year for that. But we do this, what do you say? We do this, I don't know, maybe every couple weeks,
Yep.
Something like that. We make the loaded nachos. You can use venison, or you can just use beef is fine. So I'm gonna start by prepping all these. Just kind of rough chop on the lettuce. So we'll chop up some onions. I never get like huge onions in the garden. This is about as big as they normally get around here, it seems like. We'll chop up our cilantro. Our cilantro went wild this year. We had so much cilantro. So actually what I'm gonna do is kind of take the main stems out of here. Alright guys, so if you guys want any cilantro and you're in Pensacola, Florida, we got a bunch of it we gotta get rid of. Here, I would say no more than the next month it's starting to bolt. It's actually been going since probably September or October, this batch. We're gonna try to replant some over the summer, but it seems to bolt pretty quick over the summer. It actually did really well in the winter. So anyway, we'll just chop this cilantro up. I'm gonna chop up these tomatoes. Alright, so today we are using venison for our loaded nachos. And an important thing to note when you use deer meat, this is stuff we ground ourselves, but you're going to want to use a little bit of olive oil because it doesn't have any fat in it, because deer tallow is disgusting. It leaves your mouth all filmy, I guess you would say. So anyway, we're just gonna go ahead and brown this out. It's still a little bit frozen in the middle, but that's okay. But yeah, I add a little bit, maybe a tablespoon of olive oil to this, just because there's no fat. You can always drain it off when you're done if you're worried about it having too much oil. But anyway, we'll get back with you in a minute. Alright guys, so we got our ground venison brown. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. This Himalayan salt doesn't seem to do a whole lot anyway. And I'm gonna add in my taco seasoning right there that we have pre-measured out. But you could buy a taco kit, but it's kind of a waste because you wouldn't use the tacos, the shells. So we just do it in bulk. Buy the seasoning in bulk, just whatever the seasoning mix calls for that you buy. I'm gonna put a couple pinches of cayenne pepper flakes, just because we ground it up out of our garden. And just to mention, you know, we try to cook with, you know, what we can get ourselves, whether it be the venison, the deer meat, or whether it be the vegetables out of our garden that we have over here. We try to do all from what we can produce ourselves. So let's get this heated back up with this water that's in here and get the seasoning incorporated in there. Alright, so we'll turn this down and we'll let that sit for just a little bit while we're getting everything else ready. Alright y'all, so what I'm going to do here first, I've got my chips on the plate that I placed on there. We have our browned meat, and I'm going to kind of just spread it evenly over this. I'm not going to use this whole amount for this plate. We'll have some left over for tomorrow. We can make some more nachos. But we got roughly a pound that we cooked, and I don't know, I'll probably use half of that for here. Okay, so the next step we're gonna do is we warmed up some of the cheese. Show them that beautiful melted queso blanco, whatever you want to call it, white cheese. All right, so we're gonna pour that goodness over there. We like cheese in this place. And so the next step that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and take some of the Mexican 4 cheese. You could use cheddar too. I'm gonna put it directly over the ground beef and the melted cheese, just so this melts in a little bit, right? And the next step we're gonna go, let's do the lettuce. The lettuce fresh out of the garden. We'll go ahead and put some of that on there. Put some of that goodness on there. Yeah, give them a shot of that. That looks good. What do you think? Next we'll go onions. How about some onions? We'll throw on some onions. Throw on a few more onions. What the heck? And then we'll go some cilantro. Get some of that goodness on there. And we'll go with some tomatoes. This is the only thing so far that hasn't come out of our garden. We'll go with some sour cream. Can't really evenly spread that, so that's gonna be dollops of daisy. Dollops of daisy all over this thing.
I love lots of sour cream on my nachos, so.
I guess that's why they call it dollops of daisy, because you can't spread this crap. So anyway, we'll put that right there. And next we are gonna go to our pickled jalapenos. Now we didn't make these, but we do make some. So we'll spread the jalapenos all over this. Get that goodness on there. And next we will go, so tell them where we got these from. These, we can't claim these. We were at the taco truck last night. These are leftovers from the taco truck.
Yeah, they make a really
pickled.
good pickled red onions, cucumbers, radishes. So
what the heck?
Those are really good.
So we don't normally put this on there, but we're gonna put a little bit of it on there. All right. And the last thing I like to do to top this baby off, and this is a 2-person plater here. We're both gonna eat off this plate. I believe it's a lot of food. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put some paste picante sauce on this thing.
Salsa.
And get that salsa up on there. So that is about it. That's the masterpiece right there. And it's so good. All these flavors are so good together. We're gonna go taste this stuff and let you guys know how it is. Alright guys, I'm gonna need a huge glass of sweet tea for this one because this is a lot. Alright, let's see. The challenge is getting everything in one bite, right? I got the cheese. I don't think I have sour cream on this one. Let me find some sour cream.
I got some.
Well, I lost my tomato. Let me get a tomato. Give me that tomato. Alright. Let's try some lettuce. Alright, let's try this. It's what makes this so good is just having everything mixed together. You know, get you a jalapeno, get you some salsa, get you some deer meat, a little bit of everything.
And what makes it a good nacho, loaded nacho, is that, you know, again, a lot of the vegetables are coming from our garden. The deer meat we harvested ourselves as well, so
that's like heaven on a chip right there.
Right.
All right, so.
The cilantro is so like fresh, you can really taste it.
Look at you trying to sound all Hispanic.
Whatever.
Now this stuff is super easy to make, super good. As I mentioned, if you guys are in the Pensacola area, hit me up in the chat, hit me up, leave me a message, and if you want some cilantro, and I'll get you guys some, because we have a pile that needs to come out so I can get my spring stuff planted. Probably in the next couple weeks, we're gonna do a video on our spring garden planting.
So good. We love Mexican food.
If you don't have venison, go buy a pound of ground beef and do this. You gotta try it. I like it with venison, but it's good with ground beef too. I've done it quite a few times that way. You can't shortcut it though. You need the lettuce, you need the tomato, you need the sour cream, you need the cilantro. You know, all that blending together. The salsa, all that. You're probably gonna be a mess when you finish eating this, but it's totally worth it. If you can get everything on one bite, that's always a trick. Get everything on one bite. That's where it's at.
Really popular with the kids.
You know, you may have to leave off some onions or whatever to get the kids to eat it, but honestly, I think just about any kid would eat this, unless they just don't like Mexican food at all. But definitely give this a try. I think that's it for me. If you enjoyed this video, like it, subscribe to our channel. Put in the comments if you want to see more like this. If you have any other video suggestions, throw them down in the comments. You got anything else for them?
Don't forget to hit that notification bell as well, so you can be informed of future videos we upload. Okay?
I think we're done. I'm gonna go shove my face full of good food. So we'll see you guys in the next video. We are out of here.